Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Did Nanny Faye also mend Lindsie and Todd's relationship? Chrisley Knows Best fans are wondering if Nanny Faye is to thank for Lindsie and Todd's relationship seemingly being on the mend. As those who watch the series know, Nanny Faye revealed to Todd that she kept in touch with his estranged son Kyle Chrisley. It was Nanny Faye who first told Todd that Kyle wanted to reach out and reconnect with him. She set the wheels in motion for these two to reconnect. Fans are now wondering if she may have also stayed in contact with his estranged daughter Lindsie as well. For a very long time, Lindsie Chrisley claimed she did not have contact with anyone in her family. She further explained that this also extended to Jackson never seeing his grandfather. Nanny Faye, however, was never mentioned. So, fans weren't really sure if she had a relationship with Lindsie and Jackson or not. It was a recent update to Lindsie Chrisley's Instagram stories that has fans wondering if Todd Chrisley's mother is to thank for this estranged father and daughter reconnecting. Fans were shocked to see Nanny Faye on Lindsie's Instagram. Lindsie Chrisley's Instagram has been all about herself and her son Jackson for a very long time. Over the weekend, however, she posted a video that shockingly featured herself sitting in a vehicle with Nanny Faye. Now, Lindsie could not be seen in the video and it had a black and white filter on it. Fans do believe it was Lindsie holding the camera and speaking to Nanny from out of the frame. As TV shows Ace previously reported, fans were a bit shocked to see Nanny Faye show up on Lindsie's Instagram. It was only one quick video clip. It sounded as if Lindsie was asking her grandmother about spending time with the boys. Becoming a bit embarrassed, Nanny admitted she couldn't repeat what she said while she was being filmed. When did Lindsie Chrisley reconnect with her family? Chrisley Knows Best fans aren't really sure when Lindsie and her family reconnected. It, however, appears as if the convictions against her parents brought them close again. To date, Lindsie has posted in the comments of her sister Savannah's posts several times. Likewise, she's also acknowledged her sister Savannah on her Instagram stories too. Furthermore, Lindsie has spoken about her family in a more positive light in Q&As on her profile. It had been years of silence, tension, and unresolved pain between Todd Chrisley and his eldest daughter, Lindsie. Words had been exchanged that couldn't easily be taken back, and betrayal had cut deep on both sides. The Chrisley family, once inseparable on Chrisley Knows Best, had splintered into factions, each struggling to protect their hearts. Yet, amidst the heartbreak and distance, there was one person who refused to give up hope, the one person who believed that love could still mend what pride had shattered, Nanny Faye Chrisley. At 81 years old, Nanny Faye had seen it all. She'd watched her son, Todd, rise from humble beginnings in Georgia to reality TV stardom, and she'd also seen the toll that fame and family feuds had taken on him. But she wasn't about to let that be the end of the Chrisley story. "You can't let bitterness be the thing that wins," she told her grandson Chase one morning over coffee. "Family's all we got in this world, and I don't plan on leaving it broken." Todd, now humbled by his time behind bars and adjusting to a quieter life after his release, had privately admitted to close friends that he missed Lindsie deeply. "She's my firstborn," he'd said in a recent interview, his voice trembling slightly. "No matter what's happened, I'll always love her. I just don't know how to fix it." And that was exactly the space where Nanny Faye worked her magic best, the space between heartbreak and hope. It started simply, as all her plans did. She called Lindsie one evening, just to check in. Her voice was soft, familiar, and full of the kind of love that could make anyone's defenses melt. "Well, hey, sugar," she said warmly when Lindsie answered. "It's your Nanny Faye. I was just thinking about you and how long it's been since I heard that pretty voice of yours." Lindsie, cautious but touched, replied gently, "Hi, Nanny. It's really good to hear from you." Her tone was hesitant, but Faye could sense that deep down, her granddaughter missed him. After a few minutes of catching up about Jackson, Lindsie's son, and Nanny Faye's latest bingo escapades, the conversation turned emotional. "I know things have been rough," Faye said carefully. "And I know there's a lot that's been said that shouldn't have been. But baby, life's too short to stay angry forever. Your daddy, he's been through it. He's changed. And I think he's finally ready to listen." Lindsie stayed quiet for a moment, her throat tightening. "I don't know if I can trust that," she admitted. "I've been hurt before, Nanny. He's said things I can't forget." "I know, sweetheart," Nanny replied softly. "But forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about freeing yourself. And maybe it's time to see if he's ready to free himself too." The next week, Nanny Faye put her plan into motion. She told Todd she was hosting a family supper, nothing fancy, just her fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and enough sweet tea to fill a pool. Todd hesitated when she mentioned that she might invite a surprise guest. "Mother, please tell me this isn't one of your matchmaking dinners," Todd joked, trying to lighten the tension. "Oh, it's matchmaking all right," she teased. "But not for romance, for family." Todd froze, realization dawning. "Mama, you didn't." When Lindsie arrived that evening, her heart pounding, she almost turned around at the door. She hadn't seen her father in years, not in person, not since before everything unraveled. But Nanny Faye met her on the porch, holding her hand firmly. "You're doing the right thing, baby," she whispered. "Let love have a chance." Inside, the room felt thick with emotion. Todd was seated at the kitchen table, nervously fiddling with a napkin. When he looked up and saw her, time seemed to stop. "Hi, Daddy," Lindsie said softly, her voice trembling. "Hi, sweetheart," he managed to reply, his eyes already misting. Neither of them knew what to say next. Thankfully, Nanny Faye wasn't one for awkward silence. She immediately started passing food around, chattering about everything from the weather to how Chase still couldn't cook to save his life. By the time dessert came out, the tension had eased slightly. Todd glanced at Lindsie, his voice cracking as he finally spoke from the heart. "I've done a lot of thinking," he said quietly. "About everything I said, and everything I didn't say. I was angry, hurt, and prideful. But I never stopped loving you, Lindsie. Not for a second." Lindsie looked down, her hands trembling as she wiped a tear. "I wanted to believe that, Dad. But it was hard when it felt like the show meant more than I did. When it felt like the world knew more about our pain than we did." Todd nodded. "You're right. I let the cameras into our lives, and I didn't protect us the way I should have. I thought keeping control meant keeping us close. I was wrong." Nanny Faye sat quietly then, watching the healing unfold like sunlight breaking through clouds. This was all she'd wanted, not perfection, just peace. Later that evening, as the two talked privately on the porch, the air felt lighter. Lindsie shared stories about her son, and Todd listened, really listened, with tears in his eyes. For the first time in years, there was laughter between them, soft, hesitant, but real. "I guess we're both learning how to start over," Todd said finally. "Yeah," Lindsie smiled faintly. "Maybe we can start by being a family again, in our own way." Nanny Faye, peeking through the kitchen window, grinned proudly. "Well, I'll be," she whispered to herself. "Miracles still happen." By the next morning, word had spread through the Chrisley clan. Savannah was overjoyed, Chase called it the comeback of the century, and even Grayson texted his sister to say how happy he was. Todd posted a subtle message online later that week. "Sometimes healing starts at a dinner table. Thank you, Mama, for reminding me what matters most." He didn't name names, but fans instantly knew what it meant. The family feud that had divided the Chrisleys for so long was finally beginning to thaw. And for Nanny Faye, that was enough. Sitting in her recliner, watching her favorite soap opera, she smiled contentedly. "Lord," she murmured, "if I can get those two talking again, I can do just about anything." In the months that followed, Lindsie and Todd didn't pretend the past had vanished, but they found a rhythm. A phone call here, a visit there. Small steps that meant everything. They began rebuilding, one honest conversation at a time, guided by the woman who had never stopped believing in the power of love and second chances. Nanny Faye's plan had worked, not because she forced reconciliation, but because she reminded everyone of something simple and eternal. That forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it builds the bridge to the future. As she often said, rocking on her porch swing with a mischievous grin, "I ain't no saint, but I do know one thing, family might fight, fuss, and fall apart, but if you've got a little faith and a whole lot of fried chicken, there ain't nothing you can't fix."